happy Halloween, Jack.
Ooh.
Although one of the movies that we're talking about is a Christmas movie. So as an early Christmas present to you, I made the easiest decision I've ever made in my life, which is, hey, instead of watching more Puppet Master movies, let's not watch more Puppet Master movies.
That might have been the happiest moment of my life, Jay. Not to say I wasn't looking forward to 8 more direct-to-video, shot-on-video,
direct-to-streaming,
crappy-looking, boring, cheap puppet-ass Puppet Master movies.
Yeah, well, the first we did, what was going to be part 1 of the video was where we talked about 1 through 7, and we talked for 3 hours. So I split that into 2. Yeah. And I was like, once I'm done with the second part, we'll figure out what we're doing next. So I'm editing these parts between watching the 7 movies, discussing the 7 movies for 3 hours, and then editing 2-part videos. I was Puppet Mastered out. And I think we picked a good breaking point because we covered the video store era movies. Yeah. The classic era of the Puppet Master franchise.
Yeah.
The newer ones, I skimmed through them a little bit because I needed a couple clips. They're cheap, and they seem to be playing up the camp. So I said, let's just not do those.
It's no fun. We talk about this a lot, like on Best of the Worst. It's no fun when they're in on the joke. Sharknado isn't fun because they know they're making Sharknado and they don't take it seriously. And that's where modern Puppet Master has landed.
So instead, let's talk about an adjacent movie.
Okay.
Demonic Toys.
Yes.
It's like, well, if we're going to do that, then what's our segue into that? Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, which I've never seen. And we're going to talk about that first, even though chronologically Demonic Toys comes first. But I don't want to end our whole epic 3-part video series on Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys.
There's nothing more apropos than ending this series on a big wet fart, because that's how they ended their series. But okay, fine. We will talk about Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys.
There's more Puppet Master lore-related stuff in this movie than there is Demonic Toys stuff. Because if you watch this and Demonic Toys, there's no connection.
No.
Other than the toys themselves.
Well, so there is a connection. There's a weird connection in that in Demonic Toys, they're watching Puppet Master 2. The security guard is watching Puppet Master 2 on the TV screen.
Yeah.
But now they exist in the same universe. Oh, the lore. Once again thrown out the window, Jay.
No, that's not the only part of Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys where the lore gets more confusing. But the backstory with this movie, because it technically isn't a part of Puppet Master canon.
Oh.
It's not technically a full moon movie.
Oh.
This was kind of like I was talking about the other parts, how sometimes Charles Band, money was low, money was tight.
Yep.
So you release an hour-long clip show movie and just call it a new Puppet Master movie. This was the lowest of the low era where he just needed cash.
Yeah.
So he licensed the Puppet Master and Demonic Toys names to the Sci-Fi Channel. And so Sci-Fi went off and made this movie that Charles Band doesn't have really any connection to.
Okay.
But it does have a lot of Full Moon connections because it's directed by Ted Nicolau, who directed the Subspecies movies for Full Moon. And it's written by Courtney Joyner, who wrote Puppet Master 3.
That it definitely started the silly tone of the series. It was a significantly goofier than any other Puppet Master movie.
They were having fun. I'm glad they were, because I wasn't.
Were they? I mean, anyone who has to spend time with Corey Feldman, are you having fun?
Yeah, this movie stars national embarrassment Corey Feldman as a Toulon relative.
Correct.
Who lives with his daughter.
What's the time on that bitch?
Hey, who you calling bitch?
Sorry, Batch. I was thinking about your mother again.
Corey Feldman, probably 40s when this movie was made, but he's playing an old man.
And you know what? Having a good time doing it. He has an old man voice. He put on a wig or put powder in his hair.
I think they just sprayed some that cheap costume shop hairspray in. But he's talking all gravelly because he's an old man.
Not just any blood, dear. Toulon family blood.
But he's a Toulon. He's a relative of the Toulons. And we get a new piece of lore, which is now, in order for the Puppet Master animated formula to work, you have to have Toulon blood mixed into it.
Right. So this isn't about, the last Puppet Master we saw before this, they were like injecting something into the dead people and then injecting that into the puppets.
Through a magic ring.
Through a magic ring. That's not a canon anymore. Before that, it was brain matter that they were kind of like turning into a goop. Before that, it was just kind of demonic incantations. And
in the first movie, the opening scene with William Hickey, it's he just says like magic words and then Jester comes to life.
Yeah,
that's it.
Just magic, hand wavy magic. So every single goddamn movie, it changes.
And this doesn't make sense because if it comes from the ancient Egyptians, then where did the Toulon blood come into it?
I put this in quotes, but lore is very important to me. You know, Toulon sold his soul twice.
Does he say that in this movie?
I have it written down. He must have said it.
Okay.
So the reason that the demon from the demonic toys is upset is because Toulon sold his soul to that demon and to a different demon, basically putting his soul in double jeopardy.
Oh, okay.
And that's how he was able to make the Puppet Master's puppet? I don't fucking know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, also confusing is early on, Corey Feldman says that even though he's a Toulon, he says he bought the trunk of puppets from a flea market in Paris.
I'll never forget the day that I found those puppets with your mother at that flea market in Paris.
So I guess he just coincidentally ended up, another Toulon ended up with puppets that he bought from a flea market. They weren't just like in the family. He says that he bought them from a flea market.
Are you sure? Because that sounds a lot like...
There's something similar in Curse of the Puppet Master.
Curse of the Puppet Master,
he bought it at I think he says like a roadside attraction or something.
Sure.
But no, Corey Feldman, that's why I wrote it in my notes, because he specifically said it, and I was like, wait, but he's a Toulon.
But he's a Toulon.
Yeah, it belonged to old man Toulon. He guarded that formula with his life.
So at some point, the Toulon family lost the puppets, and then he just coincidentally found them again at a flea market in Paris.
Yeah,
what if someone just took advantage of him with like knockoff puppets because they knew he was a Toulon? Because that would explain some things. The puppets look terrible in this.
They look fucking awful. And we'll get there later. They end up looking even worse.
When they get their upgrade, yeah.
But they looked bad in Retro Puppet Master, and I said to myself, there's no way, this is it. This is as bad as the puppets can look. Hachi Machi J. Fucking Walmart ass Puppet Master toys. Awful.
They have a relative amount of animation to them, though. More so than probably Retro Puppet Master.
Sure.
Like there's some animatronics going on.
Yeah.
It's something. They look terrible, but it's something.
I guess.
They're downgraded, though. There's not as many of them this time, presumably for budget reasons. Same with the demonic toys. There's less of them.
Well, and I think there's probably less of them because they have, overall, they had the same amount. We get 3 main demonic toys, and is it just 3 main puppets, or do we get 4 puppets?
I think it's 4. 4 good Puppet Master puppets, 3 evil demonic toys.
Right. And the demonic toys, I felt, looked pretty okay. I really like Baby Farts-a-Lot's...
Baby Oopsie.
Baby Oopsie. Sorry for all the Oopsie heads out there. I liked his facial animations. I like the rubber. It looked cool.
Hey, buttface. What are you looking at?
Baby, talk!
It looked, it wasn't quite up to the caliber of like a Chucky or something.
Right.
But for a Sci-Fi Channel movie, especially when the puppets look so terrible.
Right? Pretty good.
Not bad.
Even the little clown hand puppet that comes out of the Jack-in-Box, obviously a very simple puppet, but it looked okay.
He did some things in this movie that he doesn't do in the actual Demonic Toys movie, which is like his body stretches and he goes, it's kind of like weird and surreal looking when he stretches across the room.
Yeah.
That's something. Too bad he looks stupid.
And honestly, one of the coolest things in the movie was, I believe it was his demon scream that makes the eyeballs pop.
I will say, like especially after the last few, where it feels like everybody's on Prozac, and the pace is so leisure. This one at least kind of like has an energy to it.
Yeah,
it's stupid and it's like trying to be silly.
Yeah,
and it was just kind of annoying. But at least it has some life to it, unlike the last few.
Well, we get, some high caliber actors. Beyond Corey Feldman, Lady from Kingpin is also in it.
I was going to say Vanessa Angel is her name.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing her on the Weird Science TV show.
Yeah.
The USA Network Weird Science TV show. And she was on that, and then she was in Kingpin.
Yeah.
The best Farrelly Brothers movie. Possibly the only Farrelly Brothers movie that I would say holds up. I think that is a genuinely good comedy.
Oh, yes. Genuinely good comedy. Best? Arguable. Sure.
I would say best. But
yeah.
Vanessa Angel is in that. That was like her big kind of thing after moderate success. I don't know how big the Weird Science show was, but it was like something.
A regular show.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Holds her own in that movie against like Bill Murray and Woody Harrelson, Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
She's good in that movie.
You got it working.
Yeah. I wound it.
Oh, there's a winder.
So I always kind of thought she would have a bigger career, and then she's in Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys.
The last thing they'll remember of the old way of life is what a great philanthropist I am.
She hams it up, the appropriate amount of corny acting for a role like this. She's the evil businesswoman.
Yes.
That's in cahoots with a demon.
Love it. Heiress to a toy empire, and the whole plot is she wants to get all these toys into people's homes so that the demon can turn them into demonic toys and take over the world. Great.
It's the plot of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to make all the kids wear the Halloween masks, and then it's going to turn, they're going to watch a program that night, Halloween night, and then their heads are going to turn into bugs.
Great.
Similar kind of concept.
Great. I love it.
But she needs Toulon's help?
She needs the blood of a Toulon.
Yes.
She needs the blood of a Toulon to give the demon down in the demon pit enough power to turn all the toys into demonic toys. Also, she wants a Toulon inside of her so that she can always have a supply of Toulon blood, because the puppet master puppets are superior to the demonic toys.
I disagree. All Baby Oopsie does in this movie, though, is fart a lot.
Yeah.
You get lots of Baby Oopsie ass. Yeah. That's like one of those things that happens once, and you're like, okay, someone thought that was funny. Yeah. But then it keeps happening.
And then they kind of turn it into a superpower where his farts make him jump really high.
He propels himself with farts.
And that was the point where, it's just a big sigh. Like, okay, all right, this is the kind of movie we're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see them tits broad. Hey, yo, go. It's Anthony Dice Clay.
Andrew Dice Clay.
No, it's Anthony Dice Clay.
Okay.
It's Walmart brand.
It's the knockoff version, yeah.
I was just getting to the good stuff.
That's a weird thing about the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
Visually, it looks like an episode of like Goosebumps or something. It looks like a kid's movie.
Yeah.
But then the puppets like try and rape a woman. They're like ripping off her shirt and grabbing her boobs. And
yeah, that was weird.
There's stuff like that. And then occasionally something violent will happen. There's a way to do that where you make those tones like contrast each other. But here it doesn't seem like it's an intentional creative decision. It just feels like kind of murky and stupid.
Sci-fi original. Just fine.
Yeah.
Fine. You want a gory part? Fine. We don't care. You want, as long as you don't show boobs. If we were only going to bra, fine. Have them rape someone. Oh, have the someone at the Sci-Fi Channel was like, yes, have the baby farting rape someone.
Yeah. I didn't write down where it was shot, but this is one of those movies where to save money they shoot it in like Bulgaria or somewhere over there. So this is another case like Retro Puppet Master where all the supporting characters are dubbed over, which leads to some really funny, awkward line delivery. There's like the receptionist lady at the toy company.
Yes.
Come with me to meet the board of directors.
Yes, Miss Sharp.
Miss Sharp, you're doing such a good job. I'd like to introduce you to our board of directors.
Yes, ma'am.
We want you to meet the board of directors. Oh, thank you. I love my job here at the toy company. Yes, that was but
Special guest director Tommy Wiseau for that scene. I don't know.
not just side characters though. Like the main new love interest was also completely overdubbed.
Yeah.
Your toys are alive too.
They're not toys. These are the Toulon puppets.
And at one point, the puppets get an upgrade. We do have to talk about that because the movie's called Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys. That happens in the last like 3 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
When they finally all get together.
The epic battle. The Civil War of the 90s.
But they get like kind of like Jason and Jason X, how he gets like the spacesuit Uber Jason upgrade. They do that with the puppets, but it's just sort of like tinfoil attached to them.
And they just look demonstrably like he put like a Terminator red eyepiece on 6-shooter and gave him 6 laser guns.
It's not like part of his face got blown off. It's just on over his face.
Yes. Also, apparently, you as a toy maker knows how to make laser cannons. Jester finally gets an offensive upgrade.
Oh, that's one thing I want to mention about this one. It's the first time in the entire Puppet Master series where we see in the same shot him starting on a head, the head spinning and landing on a different head.
Oh.
Every other movie, it always like cuts away to something, then cuts back to him with the new head on. We see it all in one shot. Movie magic, I'm telling you.
Wow.
The Sci-Fi Channel spared no expense.
That was like the one person who agreed to work on this movie was like, I need to do one thing.
This has been bothering me since the first Puppet Master
I will
film.
work for scale. I will work for minimum wage if you let me get one shot into the movie.
So now we've reached the conclusion of our epic journey through the Puppet Master series by talking about a movie that isn't Puppet Master. But it's what we always wanted in the Puppet Master movies, which is little dolls being evil.
Yes.
That's all I wanted.
Okay, this might be the best written thing I have ever seen come out of Full Moon.
Well, did you notice who the writer was?
I did know.
We talked about, we did Arcade on Best of the Worst, David S. Goyer.
Yes.
He wrote that. And he wrote Demonic Toys. I think those are the only 2 Full Moon movies he wrote.
And then later in his life, Blade 2. This guy.
Not the Blade from the Puppet Master movie.
No, the good Blade.
Yeah.
Blade from the pre-X-Men Marvel Blade. Wesley Snipes' Blade. Then he went on to write some garbage, but we won't worry about that.
Would you say Demonic Toys is better written than Batman v Superman?
I would say that to Zack Snyder's face several times.
All right.
I would say that to anyone, that is the truth. Because here's the thing. The who, the what, the where. Who these people are, what their relationships are to each other, where they are, what's the base reality, and then like what's the setup? What are their goals? What do they want to accomplish in life? Right off the fucking bat, we got 2 people, they're moving in together. They're about to have a baby together. They have a relationship that's about to happen, but
And they're both cops.
And they're both cops, right? And because we know that they're about to have a baby together, we know that the dad cop starts acting really funny, a little overprotective of his partner because the partner has his baby, which makes sense why he fucks up the mission, right?
I say you're under arrest.
Well, and it leads into, I think I talked about this when we talked about like Reanimator.
Yeah.
I was like, it helps when your foundation is like a real drama and then the horror kind of happens around it.
Yes.
So here you have this complicated relationship between a male cop and a lady cop.
Yeah.
And she's pregnant. She just found out that morning. Ooh. And then they're in part of a sting operation that goes wrong.
Yeah.
He gets shot. The perps run into this whatever this warehouse is. She follows in after them. Oh my God, there's demonic toys in this warehouse. There's your setup.
Beautiful, because now we don't have to worry about any of that bullshit story anymore because we already know the characters. Oh, great, the toys kill people. Fucking who cares that there's a demonic pit in the toy warehouse?
Well, there's a backstory to it.
Well,
we'll talk about that. We'll just go right into that. The flashback. Which is my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
So the idea is, there's a couple 66 years ago.
Yeah.
This happens like 3/4 of the way through the movie, but I'm just going to go ahead to it because it's the best scene in the film.
Absolutely.
Woman gives birth to a demon baby, a little rubber demon baby with little horns, but the demon baby was born dead. So they say, hey, what do we do with this demon baby?
No. Would you like something better than candy?
Let's give it to trick-or-treaters for some reason. And they tell the trick-or-treaters, they come out with a sack that the dead demon baby is in. And they say, take this demon baby and bury it someplace special. And the kids are like, thanks. And they go away. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Open the sack, find the demon baby, go, ah! And then throw it into a hole in the ground.
Then yuck it away.
And then the warehouse that this toy warehouse was built on top of where that demon baby was just thrown into a pit by a bunch of trick-or-treaters on Halloween.
Gorgeous.
Them going, ah! And chucking the thing.
That was great. That was fucking great.
It made me laugh out loud.
As it that whole sequence, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a girl moaning very sexually.
Yes.
That's not how it sounds.
All right. You're going to be all right.
Baby comes out, it's dead, and like this happy old couple, like, oh, you did great, dearie. It's not your fault our demon lord died. What?
I liked that too, they're not like some evil cult. It's just like this nice older couple.
Yeah. Oh, hail Satan, you'll come next time. That's all right.
Yeah, not like overtly evil. They're not wearing like robes.
No, this is like the parents from Happy Days who just so happen to be devil worshippers. That's great. So cut back to the present. We have our setup. We know what's going on. One of the downed perps finds the satanic pit that is now emanating from the toy factory, and some of his blood gets into the pit. This is the first time this has ever happened. No one has ever had a paper cut in the warehouse before. So the blood gets into the pit, and that gives the demon enough power to summon some toys.
To animate a few toys.
Yeah.
And we have a nice, diverse group of characters.
Yeah.
Which is one of the problems with the earlier Puppet Master movies. So it's like the first one, it's a team of psychics.
Yeah.
Second movie, it's a team of paranormal researchers. So they're all like doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Here we got lady cop, we got criminal, we've got security guard, we've got fast food chicken delivery driver guy.
Yes.
Not the best performance. He just kind of yells a lot.
Oh my God! Somebody shot him! Shut the fuck up! Dad, we're trapped. What the fuck are we gonna do? Fuck! We gotta get out! Oh.
And don't forget about teenage runaway who lives in the vents.
That was the best reveal, because she comes in a little bit later.
Yeah.
We establish all of her characters, and they're all locked in a room, and they're like, what the hell is going on? And she just bursts out of a vent.
Somebody want to tell me what the fuck is going on here?
It's the toys.
Yeah, they give her like a backstory, like she had a bad relationship with her parents. She's a runaway. She's just hiding out in this warehouse, and then she just gets her eyeballs stabbed out.
Which I appreciated because I assumed that basically everyone was going to live. Our three good guy characters, Lady Cop, Lady Runaway, Man Chicken Deliverer.
This isn't funny anymore, guys.
I assumed the three of them would live, but when she died, I was like, oh shit, there's some stakes here. That's great.
That's what I say. Unlike Puppet Master, where all the puppets are good guys now. These are demonic toys.
Hell yeah. They're still just as stupid. Like no matter what, if a character can just pick you up and shuck you away, it's not very intimidating.
Charles Band built his entire career on tiny little creatures, and you're just throwing it all in the garbage now.
Yes, I am.
Hi, you fat fuck. I'm baby Oopsie Daisy. You lard ass.
But at least in this movie, they don't try and like hide the fact that these things are pretty easily defeated.
Yeah.
They get taken out throughout the movie in relatively quick succession.
Hey, you're fucking up my makeup.
They get the fat security guard because he's fat, but they gang up on him too.
Yeah.
It's all the puppets, all the dolls have to work together to take down one fat security guard.
Yes.
So once they're on their own, you can just shoot them and then they're just dead.
And I guess like that also was kind of like the puppets' first kill. And so like, they're generally taken by surprise. I want to say they shot him in the leg at one point. So I was like, okay, this is making sense.
And that's kind of a funny image too, is that the baby Oopsie in this, like the very first kill of the movie, the first thing that any of these demonic toys does is just shoot him with a gun.
I do love the sequence in which baby Oopsie is dragging the big fat security guard like down the stairs.
Yeah, he drags him through the whole warehouse somehow.
He's struggling, but it's fun. It's a fun imagery, and and it feeds back into the story. More blood for the demon.
More blood he gets, the stronger he gets.
Yes.
Because his ultimate plan.
Yes.
Which is mostly delivered by a small child, which is sort of weird. He's like, I'm gonna have sex with you, cop lady.
At the moment of birth, I ride shotgun down the old birth canal, and I come out instead, Judith. Or should I call you Mom?
No!
Then I'll come for you. Then we can do the nasty.
Well, it's also weird because the kid keeps showing up.
Yeah.
The movie opens with a dream sequence, and it's the actress is Tracy Scoggins, who I guess was on like Babylon 5 or something.
On
She's
Babylon
regular
5,
in that.
yeah.
I never saw Babylon 5, but she's good in this movie.
Yeah.
She's working well above her pay grade with this.
Honestly.
Really emoting. But yeah, it opens with this dream sequence with these two boys playing war.
Yeah.
And then, the dark-haired boy shows up. He's sort of like one of the ways the demon presents himself. But he's wearing like 90s skater kid clothes.
It's fun.
Just have him wearing a suit or something like creepier.
I thought this was pretty off-putting because he has like the eyes, he has the demon voice, but he just looks like a normal, beyond the eyes, he looks like a normal kid, and I liked that imagery.
Like an innocent kid that just happens to have this demonic voice to him.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yes, because he needs a human body for the demon soul to inhabit. And so it was the demon that used their meager amount of power to draw Lady Cop to the warehouse, knowing, putting the chess pieces in place, knowing that it would go wrong and she would end up in there because he knew that she was pregnant. It doesn't matter. You know what? It made sense. It made sense within the confines of the movie.
Sure.
Is the thing. And that's all
It made a relative amount of sense. It made enough sense to make a demonic toys movie.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it's all perfect, but it's what it needs to be to make the movie happen.
Airtight. I
want you to explain the little angel boy then. Explain how any of that makes sense. I guess we should set it up. But
Okay. So near the end of the movie, what we see is what we think is another demonic toy come to life in a really cool stop motion sequence. It's a little toy soldier. Uh-oh, a new demonic toy. But the demonic toy is saving people, is helping Lady Cop. And then demonic toy turns into real boy, and we realize it's the other boy from the dream sequence where the demon boy and the other boy were playing war. Mm-hmm. The boy is the soul of the unborn child who is fighting for his own life and the life of his mother.
I'm your son. The son you're going to have. The demon's gone back to hell.
That was
then
fun.
when the climax of the movie, we're jumping all over, but that's fine.
Great.
So the climax of the movie, he reveals himself to be this, when he turns into the boy, he's still wearing the soldier costume.
Yep.
And there's a moment where they do the transition from the toy to the boy. And there's that an action moment where he's just standing there and then he does this.
Yep.
I would like to point out
the
little soldier boy. Okay. Now that we've talked about demonic toys, we've talked about the entire filmography on our channel of that actor.
Oh.
William Thorne is his name.
Okay.
Previously, we saw him in a related movie, Silent Night, Deadly Night 5. He's the son in that.
What?
And he was Little Bill in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Oh.
The one his grandma wants her to give him a kiss.
Yeah.
And that's all the only movies he's ever been in. So we've covered that kid's entire career on the channel now.
You're welcome.
He's probably like an accountant these days or something, but
I'm like this kid. He's like a fair boy from heaven, and I'm able to control a toy.
There's three things I want to bring up. Three more things I want to bring up. One is crawling around in vents.
the largest vents that have ever existed.
It was adorable. And I approve.
Well, you could tell they made them oversized. I mean, one, probably because they didn't want to cramp the actors. But there's a part where the runaway girl is in the foreground and Chicken Boy's in the background. And they're like on different sides of the vent.
Yeah.
It's like, did they make it so big so you could frame a shot where they're both in it?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Two, some really great imagery. Like one, we talked about the dream sequence. The clocks, the weird off-kilter set, really cool looking.
Well, even the portal to hell.
Yeah.
There's just like cracks in the concrete, but you see like weird red light shining up from it. It looks neat.
Kind of makes a pentagram shape, but not really.
Well, Baby Oopsie draws a pentagram with his crayon, which is a nice touch because that's like a children's toy thing.
That's very fun.
Hi, Jude. You know I only have eyes for you.
The I only have eyes for you segment, in which like the demon reanimates the dead partner and he rips his own eyeballs out. And finally, the coolest sequence of imagery is the little girls in gas masks.
Yes. Unrelated to the story at all, but it's just a weird visual to throw in.
Awesome.
And they explain why they're there, but then they never really pay off into anything. I thought they were going to come back in some way. They don't really.
It pays off with boobies.
So, well, it's not even really a payoff. They just show up again, turn into a naked woman who was set up earlier because she was in the security guard is showing Chicken Boy the centerfold.
Yeah.
So then later the little gas mask girls turn into the centerfold.
It was like, we need a creepy imagery, but we don't want it to make sense. It's a hallucination.
Yeah.
And the hallucination turns into a hot naked babe.
So I can get some boobs in the movie.
Great.
But because they say like, they're up in the vents and they're looking down and the little girls on tricycles with these gas masks.
And they're like honking a horn or something. Oh, really
it's
cool.
bizarre.
And creepy.
And creepy because they look up and they point at them.
Yeah.
So I thought that they say like Runaway Girl explains that they're not demons. They're just like spirits that are like keeping an eye on the place for the demons or something.
Sure.
So I thought they were gonna do something with that later, where they see him and like call the demons over. We found him, something.
Well, right after they get spotted in the vents in the dollhouse, the demon says, "I found your friends in the vent," so it kind of connects. But you're right, there's no like resolution to them, but great imagery. And that's fun. Like, that's all we want. We want kills, we want creepy imagery, and the base level characterization.
Yeah.
Demonic Toys, 10 out of 10.
Get away from her!
So then we have the epic like climax of the movie is two little kids just play fighting. Well, it's silly. It's silly in an entertaining way.
Yes.
It's fun.
It is.
Watching two little boys fight at the end of your dark demonic horror film is fun.
While there is still like someone who is just about to be raped, like hanging out there, you're like, this is all off-putting.
Yeah.
First, I'm gonna crawl on top of you and do the nasty.
At the same time, Chicken Boy is fighting with a plussed-up monster of the teddy bear.
And they were smart enough not to film the giant bear costume too much.
Yes.
You see it trying to break through a door. You see it like running down a hallway in shadow.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we got to up the stakes at the end. So what if we have a big monster? All right. We got this bear costume lying around. Can we just use that?
Because we get a fun action sequence. We can actually have fisticuffs. It's going after the chicken car. Oh, can we take a moment to talk about the chicken car?
I was very weirded out. So the guy, he works at the Chunky Chicken, which is funny because that was Chunky's Chicken was an old thing in an old Half in the Bag episode.
Yeah.
Just coincidentally, we weren't thinking of, it wasn't a Demonic Toys reference. But yeah, he works there. He's a slacker. He doesn't care about his job.
Yeah.
Is that a cigarette in your mouth? No. It's your dick.
But then he goes to the delivery to the warehouse because he has it's kind of fun that there's this like a relationship between him and the security guard that works there. They're both slackers. One's an older guy teaching the younger guy the ways of being a slacker.
You want a beer while you're working? That's what I do. Oh, I never get off my ass. This is great. Like, relationships. Who, what, where? We got it.
But the delivery vehicle has this giant paper mache chicken on it. And it's like they didn't have feathers. They're like, what do we have laying around the warehouse? So it's just like hair. Is that supposed to be like a nest? It's all around the base of it. And it looks like pubes. It's really gross looking.
It's really weird. It's weird, but here's the thing. They didn't need to put a chicken on the car, and they did.
Yeah, it's just a little detail.
That's nice.
Just distinct things to make it memorable.
Yes.
Like, oh, that's the movie with the chicken delivery driver. I remember that.
I remember the chicken car.
Yeah, it blows up at the end.
That was great.
Yeah.
Because they tried.
While still keeping it limited to like 1 or 2 locations, which is like a full moon staple.
Yeah.
Limited locations, limited characters. Okay, well, let's do our best to make all the characters distinct.
The Runaway was weird because we got so much characterization out of her. I know you mentioned this a little bit. She had a deep backstory.
Which would be fine if she had a bigger role in the story, but then she just gets her eyeballs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good that there is characterization, but you kind of think that maybe that's going to come into play later because we're talking about being a parent. She's pregnant. So, we have a child.
It is theming. Like we're setting up a lot of parental relationships. We're setting up children dying. Oh, maybe another child can die. Like what I'm saying is he did a good job writing this. Almost too good of a job writing this. This script might have been too good for Demonic Toys.
I can walk, I can talk, I can even shit my pants.
You know what it reminds me of is one of my favorite Coen Brothers movies, Barton Fink.
Oh, I love Barton Fink.
Barton Fink's brilliant. And the premise, the basic, in Barton Fink, we take this award-winning writer and we just want you to write a simple, a wrestling picture.
A wrestling picture.
We're not going to tackle the world the first time out. The important thing is we all wanted to have that Barton Fink feeling.
Low budget, just make it simpler. Make it simple movie because this is how you're going to get to be a star. Simple. And it's too much. He makes it too arty-farty. And they're like, we're fucking never going to make this. You fucking suck. David S. Goyer knew enough to sprinkle in a good movie, but still made a wrestling picture.
Yeah.
It all helps you ground yourself into a base reality, so when baby Oopsie farts and shoots a gun, it means something.
There you go. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Playtime.